Happy Monday, guys. It's your boy Stas here. Of course, got my good old double espresso. Cheers, and happy June 1st, by the way. Hope you guys had a great May and have an even better June, as the market to kick off June is actually not looking so pretty. Oil's up, the VIX is up, and we have every index now in the red. Not too bad. I guess the Russell is down over 1%, but the Dow's down only a quarter. The S&P's down 0.1%, and the Qs are barely down. So we have to break down why the market's selling off. We're going to break down the charts here, of course, go over Palantir as well, and talk about other software stocks, as clearly we're seeing a rotation back into software stocks. So we have to go over my thoughts on everything. Hit the like button, make sure to subscribe, guys, and join the Patreon if you want to keep up with my actual portfolio updates. Be a part of my, private Discord. All that's linked down below, pinned in the comments, or go to stassurfest.com/Patreon. And now, cheers again, guys. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Let's dive into it. So, Palantir, by the way, before we dive into why the market is selling off, Palantir is pretty much at break even, trading at $156 a share, and we're clearly seeing resistance on this beautiful Monday morning at about $155 to $160 a share, which you guys probably know if you saw my recent videos or if you've been watching the charts yourselves. That is resistance from pretty much the beginning of February, right? We've struggled to break through 155, 160 for about 3 to 4 months now, right? And it's failing again as of right now, but quite frankly, I don't think that's going to be the case for much longer. Clearly, momentum is building up for the bulls. We have an inverse head and shoulders here, and in my opinion, look, this is just some profit taking in Palantir after it's run up like 25, 30 bucks a share over the last couple of days. So we're seeing a bit of profit taking, a bit of resistance, exactly where we thought we would. And this is honestly opening up an opportunity to potentially add a little bit in my eyes before we completely break through. But keep in mind, who knows how much more it could pull back. I mean, the RSI is still at 70 here on the 4-hour chart on Palantir. So maybe it creeps down a little bit more to like 150. Maybe around 152, but either way, the momentum is building up for the bulls, and I like it. I like the chart, and I think we're going higher. I've been saying that now these last couple of videos, and the charts, they look great, man. So why is oil, before we talk more about software stocks, kind of where my head's at there, why is oil spiking? We have Brent up 7%. It's at 97 a barrel, and WTI's up about 8%. So it's up even more. It's at 94 a barrel, as the VIX is up 5%. What the heck's going on, man? Well, first of all, the 30-year Treasury is creeping up right now. Let me actually pull this up. Give me a second, guys. We can see the 30-year is spiking today. You're noticing it was at, where was it at? 4.97. Now it's at 5.02, so back over 5% after being at, where were we just about a week or two ago, at 5.18. Think about that, man. So the 30-year cooled off a little bit. Now it's starting to spike up again to kick off this week as oil's up. Inflationary pressures obviously are still through the roof. CPI is proving that. And the longer that this conflict goes on, the longer oil prices are up, right? It's going to get uglier. The 30-year is going to have more pressure to the upside. And we can see here, the situation in the Middle East isn't necessarily de-escalating as of this weekend. If we come down here a little bit, we'll be able to see Trump faces new inflation warning from the bond market, which I've said before, guys. This, the bond market is really going to force Trump's hand to end the conflict in Iran. That's why I think we're going to get a deal very soon here, whether it's in a couple weeks, right? 2, 3, 4 weeks, maybe more, maybe less, whatever. I think we're going to get a deal because it's all about the bond market, inflation, the economy, the midterms. That's what it's all about. And we have to be close, right? We have to be close. But we can see here the United States said Monday, today, that it bombarded or bombed rather radar and drone sites in Iran after Tehran shot down an American drone over the weekend. So we're still seeing this back and forth, obviously. And Iran then said it launched a strike of its own, and Kuwait reported incoming fire. The normal ceasefire, or the nominal ceasefire, between Iran and the United States has been repeatedly tested with such back and forth attacks, even as officials from both countries tried to negotiate, keyword is try, to negotiate an end to the war, the conflict, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, we're seeing this back and forth continue over the weekend. And look, again, each week that goes by, the more inflationary pressure we're going to have as long as oil prices are sustained. The 30-year keeps creeping up, and as long as that strait is closed, man, or, pretty much closed, it's not going to be pretty for the CPI data, gas prices at the pump, you name it, right? So that is what we're looking at in a nutshell, the gist of it very quickly, right? That's what's going on here this morning. That's why we're slipping a little bit in the market, why oil is up, the VIX is up. Is it the end of the world? No. I mean, look, we're now up on the Qs. I mean, the Qs are still looking very good. We're pretty much at all-time highs on all these indices, guys. So there's no need to freak out, but the reality is we may not be done with this conflict this week or next week, but I still think we're weeks away from a deal. And yeah, I mean, oil is going to continue to go up and down, be volatile until we actually get a deal. Then it's going to drop like a brick. We all know that. So again, software stocks, let's transition a little bit here. Transition back to these software stocks. We're actually looking good on a lot of these charts. Palantir, again, I think is going higher. Let me set my alert actually at 160 before I forget. I think if that breaks, we have a wide open gap to about 185, 190. You guys can actually see that here on the 4-hour chart pretty quickly or clearly. Other ones moving today, guys. CRM, Salesforce, finally starting to move, right? And a lot of these charts look similar. Just like Palantir, CRM has a clear inverse head and shoulder setup. You guys see the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder right here. Sorry for butchering that, but it's now breaking out to multi-month highs, right? CRM is now also testing, just like Palantir, the highs from a couple of months ago, back in February, and we're right there. We're right there at 205, 200, 205, 210. If this can cleanly break on CRM, guys, we might see a big move coming. And I mentioned this, I think, in a short form video, but what's going on here, what's happening is, in my opinion, we're getting a rotation back into software stocks. Ever so slightly, right? We're seeing profit taking on some of the semi stocks, maybe not all the memory stocks, but we're seeing people are making so much money, hand over fist, in a lot of other sectors right now that we're seeing profit taking in my eyes a little bit, and some money starting to come in to these beaten up, beaten down software stocks like CRM, like Palantir, what's the ETF? IGV or IVG? Yeah, IGV is up 3%. This thing has been breaking out the last month and a half. So we're clearly seeing money come in. ServiceNow is another one. It's up 6-7% right now. ServiceNow took out the highs from, this cup and handle played out. We took out the highs recently from a couple months ago. We hit about 125. That was back in the early days of March. We took that out. We filled the gap to 135-ish. Now that level needs to break, and it might, right? We could be going higher, but keep in mind, ServiceNow is a bit overbought here in the short term, in my eyes. We have stocks like Adobe, moving, which, Adobe has been on a lot of people's, crap list, if you will. You guys know the other term there, the crap list. But Adobe's up 3% heading into earnings on the 11th. So in 10 days, we have earnings out of Adobe. Hopefully the earnings don't rain on their parade like it kind of like they did last time. Adobe stock actually ran into earnings a couple months ago. It went from 245 to 285. Earnings came out, then boom, it tanked. So hopefully not, that doesn't repeat itself. History doesn't repeat itself. Stocks like Toast are also making a move. Ticker TOST, which you guys know I'm long Toast. It's up 5% today. So clearly money's coming back in to these broad software stocks, right? These aren't all similar industries, but they're under the software umbrella, and we're seeing money come back in. And Toast isn't breaking out like a lot of these other ones by any stretch of the imagination, but it's close. And if Toast takes out 30, I think it's really going to start to move, which is why I'm still holding on. I got a question in my Patreon in the Discord about a week or two ago. Stas, are you selling Toast? Are you locking in your losses? And I said no. I'm waiting. I'm giving it some time. I think the sentiment is at an all-time low. And, once we start to get money back into these names, once the sentiment starts to, lift a little bit, I think we're going to get a run, and we're slowly starting to see that in Toast and a lot of these other names. And Microsoft's the big dog, if you will, in the space. And Microsoft is finally starting to really break out, like actually, right? We can see this trend line is now breaking clearly, right? Which we've been downtrending ever since October, which, man, it's June already. So we're talking 8 months. Microsoft has been getting destroyed. Now it's finally starting to break through here. You guys are noticing that on this 4-hour time frame. And this also has a clear inverse head and shoulders that is playing out, And I think ultimately Microsoft is going to go higher based on the chart setup, but it is a little overbought in the short term. So keep that in mind. But still, man, this looks great. It looks great. Finally, Microsoft is catching a bid here, and we're actually gapping up today. We're up 2%. Yeah, about 2%, $10 a share. We're gapping above the 180 moving average, which is right at 450 here on the 1-year chart. And on the 3-year chart, we're trading right under that 50 SMA, which is a big spot for Microsoft. So I like the way it's slowly reversing on the 4-hour time frame. But it is a bit overbought in the short term, so keep that in mind. But either way, man, very good day for the software stocks, phenomenal day for a lot of the AI stocks as well, which I'll make another video later, guys, so make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, hit that follow button if you're watching on Facebook. Micron is now up 6%. We're clearly breaking through $1,000 a share for the first time in history, I believe. I don't think we hit it on Friday. But yeah, we're breaking through on Micron, and Nvidia is pushing up 5% pretty much. Very big day for Nvidia, which, am I surprised, guys? No, I'm not surprised. We talked about this yesterday in my Nvidia is King video. Did you guys see my Nvidia is King video? We have the GTC conference this week, literally, and we're going to get a lot of hype around, what the future holds for Nvidia, and the stock is getting some buyers, and we're breaking through the 50 moving average as of today's video. And it's bouncing right off that 180 moving average, and we're taking out the highs from the end of April, which is ideal, man, ideal. So I think Nvidia has a lot more upside, which is why it's one of my biggest stock holdings. So yeah, I'm excited, man. Happy Monday, guys. It's a great day so far. We do have Robinhood giving back some gains, which I got some questions on it. The stock still looks great. I mean, it got very overbought, let's be honest. It went from $74 to $97 in 2-3 days. So that was a 30% move. We got some news regarding Binance. Binance Ventures is getting into U.S. stocks trading for overseas customers. They're eyeing tokenized shares and super app push. So that's obviously a competitor to Robinhood, but I'm not worried at all. I got to be honest, I'm not worried at all about Binance, guys. But hey, looks like the market needed a reason to sell it off. We got it today, but the chart still looks intact. We're above these moving averages. We're still trading in this window right here between $82 to $93, $4 a share. So I think Robinhood, honestly, is a buy the dip right here, personally, and I might add some more shares myself today. We'll see. We'll see. And you guys know I've been buying since post earnings. This last month, really, I've built out my Robinhood position in the low mid 70s. So yeah, that's where I'm at. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe, join my Patreon if you want to keep up with my actual trades, investments, be a part of my portfolio updates and private Discord. That's linked down below, pinned in the comments, or go to stassurfs.com/Patreon. And with that being said, cheers. I'll see you all in the next video.